Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is Gray.
I'm Wolfman. What's up? The
And,
mighty Wolfman and the little Gray.
I'm like as big as you. What do you-
I know, I was just joking around.
You want to know something like...
I'm like Robin Hood, you're like Little John.
Yeah. Yeah! That's the movie we should make. Little John. Little John, give me my bow and arrow. What? I'm glad you didn't spit your drink all over them.
No, I'm good. I'm good. It was funny, but I can hold that one in. I can hold it in. We're good.
Well, we just got on video me lighting my filter.
Oh, good job.
Well, that's ruined. We're actually doing something a
It's
little
not ruined.
different
Just fucking
today.
smoke it. Be a man. Suck it in.
Hey, look, I got a full pack here. I'm good. Doing a little different, something a little different today, and it's funny
Your cigarette's
because...
backwards again.
Oh, no.
Fucker's gonna light it just to spite.
Do it again. Yep.
Just so he doesn't flip it around on himself.
So normally, would you say 90% of the time, unless we're on Discord, our communication back and forth is through text, like whether it's Facebook or text message on phone.
We mean us
whatever.
personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's through text. Yeah, because with you working later, we don't have our Discord hangouts and
Standard.
gaming sessions like we used to previously. Because
So-
Gray is an extra cranky son of a bitch after working in a hot oven and a 90-degree day outside, and he doesn't
Oh, dude,
want
this
to deal
past
with he
weekend-
doesn't want to deal with people when he gets home. So
You know what though? It's funny because like sometimes I do sit on my couch and like I don't want to play a PlayStation game, or like I don't necessarily want to just like watch something. I want to get something done, and like I might do a little editing or I might check out some audio stuff, and like I always hate like last minute be like, yo, you want to hop on Discord for a little bit, because like I never know like if you're doing something already. You know what I mean? It's like always planned when we were able to talk and get together. Unless I get a text message that says, hey, call, which usually it's something that has to be talked about.
well, I didn't
So-
text you. I just called you today. Yeah.
And this is where I'm getting at. I got a actual just random phone call at like 6 o'clock. And I missed the phone call, but I saw it on my iPad because my phone and my iPad are connected. But my phone wasn't near me, and I called him back like a minute later. But when I saw the phone ring, I'm going to tell you the first thing I thought. The movie that we're watching today is one of, if not the first movie that neither one of us had seen before deciding to review.
Correct. It is the first movie neither one of us has seen at least once.
And
I
when
technically
saw my phone
technically
go
saw
off-
something. I didn't see the
Yeah,
whole movie.
not-
I seen the trailer.
And when that phone went off, the first thing in my head was, I bet he watched it and it was shit. And he wants to call an audible. And I said, when I called you, you're like, all right, dude, like I just finished this movie. Have you watched it yet? I'm like, no, I usually watch it like close to when we record, a little bit more fresh on it. And my thoughts were confirmed because he said like, this movie is garbage. So we decided to do something a little different. Instead of me watching it before the recording, I'm actually going to watch it during the recording while Wolfman's giving his, like obviously he has a screening of it, so he can at least
Yeah, I mean,
not set me up
Rob
for
can
failure.
describe what's going on in
what
the
I'm
movie
seeing.
and the scene. I'll describe. We'll take turns going over things, but I'll be kind of maestroing the movie per se, skipping certain like where we skip normally. We both kind of be like, oh, let's skip to here, or let's skip to here, or no, we should back it up a little bit. You missed this, or this person missed that. We're usually on par for the most part, and we can help each other out. But this one is going to be pretty much on me.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a genuine
usually
reaction
both.
from you. But it's going to be down to me of picking the right spots in this movie, basically, to pace it good.
And I mean, there might be a scene that pops up that you
Yeah.
didn't say anything or rewind, and I'm like, oh, hold on, stop, I got to see this again.
There is
But
going to be some.
usually-
Well, first, let's say we're watching Mutant Hunt from 1987. It's just this random movie I came across in IMDb that had some cool box art covers, which is a whole nother topic on top of things, especially from the 80s. It's all about the box art cover, whether it was video games, movies, just just anything in
like
general,
93.
board games, like whatever, anything. Technology was
like
not up
early
to par.
Mid 90s.
Yeah.
They would confuse the younger generation.
Well, I guess technically it started
like,
in the 70s with album covers for vinyl and the old Atari games, the old Atari, Coleco, Commodore, all that stuff that came out in the 70s, had the box art compared to games.
But I'll give you something though. At least Atari, usually the cover of Atari games, like eventually they started hand drawing it, but they would show you like a screenshot from the game. Because they're like, look, it's Atari. It's like 2-bit.
It was like the back of the box would have a screenshot of the game. Not necessarily the front.
Well, I'm saying like the front main thing, like for Pitfall. If you see that box art, for Atari, it's the guy swinging over. It's like a screenshot. But for Nintendo, when Pitfall came out, it was like a safari guy and a crocodile. And it's like, oh, this game must be much better. It's the same game.
Yeah.
And Mega Man suffered from it.
Mega Man... Yeah, but Mega Man actually looked like... Yeah, but it didn't look like an Atari game, though. Mega Man still looked better.
Like a Nintendo.
Yeah. Still looked better than...
Down.
It looked better than what you got out of some of the other ones that had fancy box art covers, though. But Nintendo did still fall short with a lot of games, though. That is true. Especially the movie games.
In particular... Yes! I was going to say, do you remember a game in particular that you saw the box art and said, this is going to be it, and then it ended up being terrible?
Well, one particular game, because it was a movie cover that was really bad, was Rambo for the Nintendo. I didn't have an Atari or other stuff. My first game system was a Nintendo, so I have more experience with Nintendo. Too. I didn't really play Atari. I think I played it like once or twice as a kid. I think
I never liked it.
I don't remember.
No offense to anyone who collects.
Someone had one, but yeah, it was just someone that owned upwards of 120 Nintendo games originally at one point in time.
Yep.
It was like anytime I can get stuff as a kid, it was always a Nintendo game. Give me a Nintendo game.
So I'll agree with Rambo, and I'll agree like Back to the Future with like both of those games being awful, and even like Roger Rabbit wasn't a good game.
I never played either one.
But the box art, like you said, was from the movie, so you pretty much what
I got a picture of fucking. I wasn't expecting it to look like, like Rambo the movie, but like when you played the game, it just wasn't anything remotely close to what you'd expect.
I'll tell you, the game in particular that comes to mind when I see the cover.
I actually have a good one. Go ahead.
Zelda 2. The Adventures of Link or Link's Adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
Look at the cover of that game, and then see what the fuck you actually get. And it is like the massive disappointment.
Yeah, but see the problem with that is though you have the original, so I was expecting, because I own them both, I was expecting more of the original than you get a side-scrolling game. So the box art cover, I never linked it, no pun intended, to the actual game itself. You know what I mean?
I had the original, but I didn't have the box for it. So all I ever saw was the front of the game. It said Zelda. It was gold. They put it in.
Yeah, the front of the game was kind of the box. I'm pretty sure the second one was kind of like that too, though. I thought it wasn't.
Little different. There's things about it that make it feel like you're going on this epic adventure. Actually, is it Link's Awakening or is it Link's Adventure?
No, it's Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Oh, The Adventure of Link, yeah. Oh,
see, the box cover is the
one
same.
Is the sword.
Yeah,
it's the sword. Yeah, that's the original.
No, it says Zelda 2. Yeah,
right. I'm saying that's the original cover. I must have had one that came out later.
I don't think they have another one. You sure you're not talking about a different? You sure it's not Nintendo? You sure it's not an NES? And maybe you're thinking of like a SNES, a Super Nintendo version?
No, because it had a castle on. No, you know what it is? It had a castle on it. Fucking Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest.
Yeah, okay. Because I was gonna say Link was always like. That's what I'm saying. I was confused. I'm like, that was like I thought it was always the same. Yeah, I actually own that.
Yeah, just like
I own that game. That game's actually kind of fucked up because there's literally invisible things in there, and you have to collect stuff in a certain way. Otherwise, you can't get through the game. And you get stuck, and there's no way to know that. Yep. It's like they made the game to fuck with you.
Like that. Well, it's like the tornado. There's like a tornado that like takes you off somewhere.
I haven't played that in forever, so.
Yeah, no, actually, I only watched some playthroughs more recently to see why. Like, is this game as bad as I remember? And a lot of people say yeah, but yeah, like I'll just hold it up quick. Fucking
yeah.
There's a whip. And there's a fucking castle in the background, and you got fucking Dracula sitting up there. I'm like, oh my god!
But here's another game. Like I know Castlevania, so Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest didn't surprise me of what it looked like.
Yeah, but Castlevania 2 of 1, 2, and 3, in my opinion, is the worst. Like 1 is actually fun.
No, but I'm talking the look. I'm just talking the look of the game. So it didn't surprise me by looking at a box art of Castlevania 2 and then playing the game. I wasn't disappointed by it because I already knew about the first one, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just going off of disappointment that the game was bad. I'm not. I mean, yeah, I knew it was going to be an 8-bit game. Yeah. I knew it was going to have like
no, but we're talking about box art, like.
So you're saying that Manhunt is so off compared to what the box art is? Like it has nothing.
Yeah, like that scene that's on the cover isn't even in the movie.
See, that's false advertising.
In the movie, the fucking cyborg that's holding the person up is holding a bow in his hand. They show a bow. They show a bow on the wall of like someone's house, but it never gets used. The cyborgs don't look like that at all. Like it's totally different. Like it's so misleading. It's like false. So here's my good example of misleading games. All right, it's the box art compared to what you get, and it's not a movie title. Metal Gear Solid, the original Nintendo version of Metal Gear Solid with the box art. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a straight up rip off of Michael Biehn from I think it was Terminator.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Straight up rip off, and then
because you had the top down view,
and then you got a top down game that was heavily pixelated, and it's just like. You expect it to be totally different. More about
stealth. I thought it was going to be run and gun.
One of the hardest fucking games you'll ever play in your entire life.
And it's crazy how many sequels have been spawned off of that game.
But they're like,
you know what I mean?
Completely different in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had the second one. Was it Snake's Revenge? Was the second Metal Gear it was for Nintendo.
Snake's Revenge. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I forget.
The third one's Snake Eater, I think. Snake Revenge.
Did you play more than just? Did you play more than? Just the original
I owned the third one. Never played it. I never played any other Metal Gear game besides the original one. I've watched other people play some. I've seen some videos, but I never played them. I never really got into those at the time. I was into different types of games, not those. Then I tried to get into the Siphon Filter games, and I couldn't get past like the first level because I thought it was just like the stupidest game, and like it gave you no clue what you're supposed to do. And I made like 3 of those games, and yet I owned all 3 of them and never really played them.
And none of them, there was no internet YouTube videos to be able to help you out. So Metal Gear was the first one, and then the second one was called Snake's Revenge. Yeah. But Metal Gear's in small lettering. Yeah. I had Snake's Revenge, and I remember that game being tedious as hell. But on the flip side, there was games that had real weird or crappy covers that ended up being really good games. There's this Super Nintendo game, I think it's called Phalanx, and like there's a picture of like an old man playing a banjo, but it's a space shooter.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I'll send you the link later.
I vaguely remember that one. Yeah, there's
That's
I
so
mean, there's
funny.
good game. Like, I can't say that's a bad cover. I was gonna say like Ghouls and Ghosts, but that's a cool cover though.
Yeah, that was a fun
Super
cover.
frustrating game.
Ugh, dude. Every
I guess if you
Halloween,
want to
I
be
see how far I
technical,
can get.
you want to be technical. Zelda's they're just like you wouldn't know what you're getting into those by the covers. They're bad covers in my
Yeah, they're
opinion
very
because
plain.
they don't promote
There's
anything.
nothing
They
on
just show
them.
you a sword.
Yeah,
You can see a
yeah,
sword and I think the Triforce.
yeah. Yeah, Zelda's probably like the number one then, if that's the case, because you absolutely don't know what the fuck's going on,
Yeah,
and they're great.
Mario
games.
is pretty
Yeah,
straightforward, even though.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah. No,
phalanx.
yeah,
It's
that's what I remember.
yep.
Yes, it's a Super Nintendo game, not a Nintendo though.
Yeah. I said SNES.
Yeah,
But it's
I thought you
weird
said
because
NES. Yeah.
it is a space shooter,
Hmm.
and it has an old guy in overalls playing a banjo.
Yeah.
So like we're watching the opposite of Phalanx today. That's our movie basically.
Yeah, like I
Awesome
love the
fucking cover.
artwork. Obviously, you know, if you're watching this, you've seen the artwork up in the thumbnail. I think it's pretty cool. It's very colorful.
It is.
It's I don't know, it's good. It's got that 80s cheese, man.
It's like the 80s like post-apocalyptic feel. Like Blade Runner, how it has
And-
like these it's color,
yeah.
but it's like a grayscale color.
Nah,
Very
I
cool.
don't know. I think it's got more of a pastel feel to it, but it's a dark pastel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really
yeah.
like a gray.
It's,
I think it's more pastels, but they're like a
when I
darker
say
pastel.
grayscale, I'm thinking more along the lines of like gloomy. Like, yeah, there's good colors. There's pinks. And
Yeah,
there's
but I
oranges and
don't
reds.
think it's gloomy.
Is that
though.
girl-
That's the thing.
Is that girl naked?
No, she's wearing like a
Okay.
April O'Neil jumpsuit. Like
Okay.
it's like a yellow jumpsuit.
I just saw a still shot from this movie, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to this.
But even if you click through the pictures more, I'll even throw one of these other ones up. There's literally a Terminator ripoff cover on here. You go to IMDb.
I was going to
picture
say
number
that.
4.
Yes. Yep.
That
picture
gun's
4.
not in this movie from what I remember at all. There's no M60 because that's based off like an M60. I don't think
But
that
see,
gun's
that
in
one
this
says
movie
it
at
says
all.
robot. It says
Yeah,
robot
because
killer.
it's
Is that?
it's French. It's the French version, so they have different movie covers and different names.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
movies.
dude.
It says French on there,
Especially-
so yeah.
Especially B movies. A lot of B movies
Yeah.
had multiple titles because they would try to re-release it to get more traction and get more
I mean,
people to
look
watch
at
it.
look at
And then-
picture number 5. So now you have the 3 main characters, sort of. You have like the 2 bounty hunters and their bounty hunter weapons guy that ends up helping them, and then it's like a total another rando picture.
But that's actually a good fucking cover too, though. Like
It
compared
it's
to
cool,
what the movie
yeah.
is.
But that picture behind me reminds me of Contra. It's got that alien H.R. Geiger kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got that Contra feel to me for that. And then the next one's a little more of a close up, and then shows you the back, like some still shots. So this is supposed.
you see
It's not really
picture-
post-apocalyptic either. It's more of like a futuristic New York with kind of like more government control over the city in a way.
Did you see picture 3 in this lineup?
I'm on. See if you go through the 7, and they're all different versions.
In order.
They're like the VHS. Yeah.
The
So
still
number
frame
number
from the
3,
movie.
the still frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it remind you of Spaceballs, Rick Moranis' character?
No, because
But he doesn't have the helmet, obviously, but like
no.
the shoulder
When you
pads
see
on
that, no, I don't think so. No. I disagree.
What, when you see the movie, it's different?
I think when you see the movie, it's a little different, but that's just me. But when I look at their uniforms, I was going to talk about that later, but since we're looking at the picture now, it looks like they took a fucking yoga mat and like just cut a hole in it and like draped it over them and then put some stitching in it to like form the ripples. You know, like
Yeah,
stitching through
that
it.
makes
It
sense.
literally looks like they're wearing a fucking yoga mat. So like
You know what? You might actually be good at costume design. Like I would have never thought like do a yoga mat, fucking do cross stitching.
Like
Yeah,
like
dude,
if
that
you
might
just
be your fucking
if you just
calling.
get the right size mat and looks like you can put some stitches in it, it should form that little bubbly circle look in the ribs, like that ribbing that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of like, how can you make that? I'm like, dude, that looks like a fucking yoga mat. Like it really does. Like I don't know.
So the problem with a lot of these older movies that weren't massive and weren't popular, and I don't even know how you came across this trailer in the first place.
On Amazon, I was looking. See, like I was watching one movie, or just looking for a movie to watch on Amazon, and then it shows you like recommendations, especially when you're on the TV app for Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It shows you a
I
lot
use
more,
it.
and I get in these rabbit holes. That's how I find these movies sometimes. See, like, all right, so you're like huge on horror right now, and I used to be. I mean, you see my collection; it's mostly horror movies. But for some reason, I feel like I've seen like 85 to 90% of all the horror movies I ever want to watch. Like, there's not much that's going to come out right now that I'm like, I feel like I really need to see. Like, I know there's some hidden gems I haven't seen yet that just I gotta discover. But I'm kind of like.
but you're also not interested in any of the newer
That's what I just
stuff.
got. That's what I was just saying. Like I'm not like
Right.
Like there's not much that's gonna come out that's gonna be like I need to see that. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a couple
Right.
here and there. I'm not like totally dead to the genre, but it's like was so all in on horror. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like a 15 for like the longest time. You know what I mean? Like I was like way over, and now I'm at that point where like I just think horror is in like a shit place. Like it's not.
I think currently it is, but I still think you can find movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
But I've seen
Yeah.
most of these movies at least once, or that's what I'm saying, or like I know there's
or like
others
a
out there. I
passing
still,
through.
yeah, I know there's still more. I still got to discover, but I'm not actively excited about horror like I used to be. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. That, and I actually mentioned that in the upcoming GrindHaus Gripes video. I'm doing fucking Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. And the video's not going to come out for a while yet, but my biggest argument with that movie is it could have been a cash cow, and it could have been so easy to make a sequel.
Yeah.
You get the 3 friends that got lost and they had the found footage. 3 of their friends decide to go and find them, and they take cameras with them. Boom, low budget, same scare. And I know you're not a fan of the original.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either. Yeah,
the direction they took, I actually felt like, man, there's people out there who buy into this genre of horror, and I feel like horror does need to be split into like. How should I say? Does it seem to you that most popular horror after 98 has been garbage unless it's been a sequel to something previous? Like, no new original ideas, unless, like, you're talking about, like, super indie guys who are,
It's rare. Like, the one newer series of movies I actually do enjoy, for the most part, is the Conjuring universe. Mm-hmm. I actually enjoy them.
Solid.
Like I'll go. Like I won't go to a movie theater to watch any of them, but like when they come out, like I'll be like, oh, the new Conjuring's on.
I gotta check it out.
HBO or fucking Netflix or whatever, or like Annabelle or whatever,
Stars.
like whatever the like Annabelle, all those movies in that series. I'll go actively seek them after they come out. Like I'm not gonna go buy them anytime soon or anything.
You're not gonna go stand at a movie theater on a midnight waiting for the release. Yeah.
I'm not gonna stand at the movie theater at all to go see them. I'm just saying, like, but I'll actively seek them. Like when I know they came out on TV, I'll be like, oh, I want to see that. I want to check it out.
Yeah,
and see what it's like. That's like the only really new franchise that I'm like.
And that's the thing. Like
I'm not like holding my breath for the next one though. But what I mean.
No, but I know where you're coming from, and like when we talked about like Never Hike Alone, you know what I mean. Like it has to do with Jason.
Yeah.
So obviously it's tied to that lore. But there are people out there who are at least like doing new stuff. I know there's been like 12, 13 fucking Jason movies, but Never Hike Alone felt like something new. But then you get like these somehow massively
We actually
hits,
just need
like,
to do that Never Hike Alone, because I have a completely different view on that than you do. So
yeah, absolutely.
I know you don't hate it, but I'm just want to tell people he doesn't hate it. He's just not very. No. He's like blah. You're like blah. I don't want to get into it too much, but you're like blah. No. I don't love it, but I thought it was very good. I have a couple little issues that bother me a lot, but other than that, I think it's really good. And I'm excited for the next one and the one after that. So, but you're like, I think
they should. I think they should give the reins to that guy for the next full-length feature film produced by Hollywood. Jason
I think that's what he's hoping to get, something like that after making these, because he's doing like 4 shorts that are going to be like one long movie, and hopefully someone sees them, But anyway, we'll get into that another time.
But that's all I'm saying. Like anything like new franchise-wise, I haven't seen anything in a long time that's excited me. But I know there's a back catalog that I can always turn to. And like Tubi, I know we rag on it and we've said like it's like the hobo recycling.
Just making that's where. But some of my fondest memories, or like whatever, is watching some of these movies that were on Tubi or Amazon Prime. Like, people shit on Amazon Prime, but if you know where to look on Amazon Prime, there's some fucking gems and some really good shit there. But the problem is they don't advertise it. You literally have to type in a movie. No, you
have to actively.
You have to type in one movie, and then hopefully you get suggestions of all these others that fall in the same category. It's not like I can type in 80s horror or 80s cheat, you know what I mean, or 90s, action, whatever. But so that's
because my point. They're going to give you the most popular stuff.
Yeah. So my point, or they're going to show you the stuff that they want you to pay for too, even though you have Amazon Prime.
Right.
There's still going to be multiple listings of rent these new movies, rent this movie, whatever. But my point is with movies is, I always collected more so horror and kind of like comedies that were like 80s comedies and, popular comedies at the time, like old school, semi-pro, Talladega Nights.
Your Will Ferrells, your Vince Vaughns.
The Vince Vaughns, like those. And then I had my old school, I had my Tom Hanks, the Cheech and Chongs and your Animal House and, I had my whole classic comedies of those. Weekend at Bernie's. Blazing Saddles, Weekend at Bernie's, fucking Spaceballs. Like, so I collected a lot of that stuff.
The
Classics, and I had a lot of, like, mainstream action. Your Chuck... I have a handful of Chuck Norris stuff, but I have mostly Stallone and Arnold. I have some Van Damme, I've seen all the Seamus
But you
Goals,
also have some...
couple Charles
You have some
Bronsons.
like Dolph Lundgren stuff.
I have a good amount of
Charles.
A good amount. I actually have a lot more Chuck Norris than I realized. But I'm saying I collect. I collect like a lot of the. The mainstream action stuff, or at least it's more mainstream now. Maybe some of those stuff at the time wasn't, but now it's more mainstream because that's who they become. But,
right.
But to me, right now, I grew up watching a lot of shitty action and sci-fi at the time, but I never really collected it. You know what I mean? It was just like I watched it. It's really rare. That's like my new cult. I'm excited for this stuff. So like I'll go on Amazon and like I look for, some shitty movie that I remember from the past, and then I try to go 30 pages deep of like, oh, if you like this, you'll like this, and then I click on this and I'm like, ooh, what's that? Look at this box cover. Oh, this looks amazing. Let me watch this trailer. Let me like, and then I get sucked into this like, just like you get sucked into YouTube rabbit hole. I'm now in an Amazon Prime rabbit hole of just like I have or like so.
YouTube is the worst, dude. When it comes,
I literally
to
just
holes,
one
YouTube.
night the other night I must have spent 3 hours just going through stuff and then looking stuff on IMDb. You can't see.
Honestly,
but this is a list that I made of movies I need to look on Amazon. That are just shit. I just took an envelope and I was just like, shit, I need to just start writing down random stuff. I mean, let me read some of the names of like just my point, like Circle of Iron, Cyber Tracker, Split Second, Cyberzone, Jungle Ground, Agency of Vengeance. I can't even remember writing. Wheels of Fire, Exterminators of the Year 3000, Battle Beyond the Stars, Infestation, Dead Before Dawn, Battle for the Lost Planet, The Arena, Big Bad Mama, Dirty O'Neill, Vendetta, Alley Cat, Deadfire,
Wait a minute.
Warlords of the 21st Century. You know what I mean? Like, these are this.
Did you say? Wait. Did you say Dirty O'Neill?
Yeah.
What the? That sounds like a fucking sex
I know
move.
it's not, but
but
it might be
here's
like
the issue, though.
I forget what it was, but I'm just saying, like, there's just random shit that I've never heard of that are in this 80s. I think some of them might be 70s. Dirty O'Neill might be an exploitation flick, actually, now that I think about it. It's not a sex movie, but it might be.
No, but I think it's a blaxploitation movie. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
There was a couple. Actually, I'll just look it up right now.
And yeah, but here's the thing. Like, luckily, tonight's movie is only 73 minutes. It's literally an hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's an hour and 13 minutes you won't get back in your life, because I guarantee half of those movies are probably trash. I mean...
All right, so it's 1974. A police officer has very little work, as there's virtually no crime in his small California town, until three hoodlums appear and rape a young woman. So it's an exploitation flick, revenge flick.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Death Wish type.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a little "I Spit on Your Grave" revenge.
Possibly, yeah. I don't have no idea.
Actually,
it's from '74. It's probably got some violence to it. It's probably nothing too crazy because it's '70s still. Like,
Yeah.
As much as people, they didn't push the envelope as much as they think they did sometimes.
No, because they wanted to actually make something off of it. You know, back then, like
or they didn't have the budget. Honestly, they just had the budget, so like they leave a lot up to your mind. Like they'll get right to that point, and then they'll cut. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that '74 was one of the real first films to really get into pushing the envelope of.
Sometimes that works in favor.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a movie like Jaws, they could never get that mechanical shark to work. Jaws is only in that movie for 4 minutes.
I think it's slightly more than that, but yeah.
I just watched a review the other night. It's like 4 minutes and like 38 seconds or something. But literally, it's all from camera angles and music. Like, that's why we say, like, we appreciate the soundtracks and the composition of these movies, because sometimes they make the movie. But I don't honestly think Manhunt, in my opinion, without seeing it, is going to have a whole hell of a lot that's going to impress me when it comes to anything other than, I don't know, maybe they have a decent composer.
I mean, that movie's probably shit, but my point is, like, I'm excited to search these movies out, and I get,
Yeah.
And you're going to come into shitty, trailers can make things amazing. They can ruin a movie for you because they put too much in the trailer. Like, I think trailers now, especially since, like, at least 2005 and on, even slightly earlier, they put too much in trailers. You basically see the whole movie in trailers these days to a certain extent. Like,
I actually think it even started like I think it even started in the 90s, because there was a joke on The Simpsons when Homer gets kicked out of a movie, and it was like one of the McBain trailers was on, and it was in a video rental place, and he's like, sir, you could rent that. He's like, why? I just saw the best part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, basically, it is what it is, but again, like, where you are with this old action movie kick is kind of where I've been for the last maybe year when it comes to Italian horror.
It actually is 4 minutes. I thought it was like 8 or 9, but it is 4 minutes.
Yeah,
not that I was much. Yeah, I doubled your time, and that's still.
The movie's like an hour and a half. Yeah. So even 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's
is like
what I mean.
Nothing.
Yeah, because they kept having problems with the animatronic shark. Also, that was another. They kept having issues, so it didn't get put. And that's what happened with Predator too. Between the reshoots and the rechanging of the monster and the monster not being ready, they filmed most of the film without him and using the cloaking, and actually made it a way better movie than they planned on making. Sometimes
they
less is
completely
better.
changed the design. Halfway through the movie. And they're like, dude, we're not going to scrap all the shit we already shot.
Yeah.
So, you got to compromise. And like you said, sometimes you end up with an awesome fucking movie. it's funny because I'm not going to talk too much about Jaws, but Steven Spielberg and the cast members actually called the shark Bruce because that was Spielberg's lawyer's name.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Bruce found out about that like years later and actually didn't take too kind to it. Like he thought it'd be like a joke. He was like, "Yeah, I don't appreciate that. All right, fucking sue me or don't." You know?
Yeah, fuck them. I think it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. It's hilarious.
So I was gonna say the tagline of this movie, at least. What were you gonna say? What were you gonna get into?
Oh, so what the fuck do we know about this movie?
Okay,
Before
so
breaking
we were
it down?
both in the same. Yeah, so I was just gonna read the short.
Yeah.
What you get into this? It says Z, a cold and vicious genetic scientist, discovers a way to alter harmless human cyborgs into bloodthirsty killing machines, which he plans to use for his own gain. See, like you read that and then see the trailer I saw, and I'm like, this is gonna be shitty heaven. They showed a couple of the effects. They're all practical. Obviously, it's 1987. It didn't really... Yeah. And it looked like it was going to be one of those cheesy blood fests of a movie where it's just, like, practical and, like, you know it's going to be bad, but it's going to be that, like, good bad where you're, like, excited and you're going to see all this, like, crazy, ridiculous...
That was my hope, though. My hope was that we were going to be sitting down to an incredibly bad... cheesy movie. All right.
But here's the thing, though. The first 20 minutes, I was not disappointed. Roughly. First 20 minutes, I was not disappointed in this movie. And then it just hit a dry spell of complete fucking boringness and terrible acting.
That's what I'm... What is it, in your opinion, before we get into the movie more, what is it that actually makes a bad movie? Because even movies that are technically bad can still be entertaining. Or they can be fun with friends. Like, you know, like The Room. You know, it's an awful movie. But you get a few friends together, it's fucking hilarious because of how bad it is.
So, but just using, for example, did you put the post up today or Gore about your 3 movies?
Gore put it up. I commented.
Okay. Because sometimes if we don't change to our normal
personal
profiles, it posts all as GrindHaus, and you have to read the fine print to see who actually posted the
That's
thing
why I'll always put my name first.
Yeah. So the reason why I picked what I did, even though there's some really classic movies on there, some of the other movies, but just because it's a classic movie doesn't mean it's going to be something that's going to be fun to watch over and over again every day. You know what I mean?
What 3 did you pick?
I picked...
All right, so wait, hold on. The setup, everybody, if you go to our Facebook page, you guys could actually jump in. The setup is if you're like on a desert island... Yeah, I got it. I got it. Right. It's basically like your whole desert island scenario. You know, like, so you're locked away, you're on a desert island, whatever. You have 3 movies from this list, and you can only watch these 3 movies for the rest of time, forever, as Gore put.
Yeah.
Which 3 are you gonna pick? Yeah. Now, there's movies on here like Evil Dead, Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and then you got, you know, like Texas Chainsaw, Alien, Saw, Amityville.
No,
you know, like
Alien, not Aliens. Alien.
I said Alien.
No, you said Aliens.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Did I say Alien?
It's Alien, not Aliens.
Yeah, I thought I said Alien.
No, you said Aliens.
Because Aliens isn't really a...
No, but Aliens would have been on my list because it's very entertaining. That's the point I wanted to make out.
But see, they're going with horror movies here, so that's why I automatically Candyman, Phantasm, but these are the only 3 movies you could watch for like the rest of fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, there's The Purge, Scream. Even though I don't think The Purge is a horror movie, Scream, Resident Evil, Halloween, Night of the Demons, even Tremors isn't a horror movie, but that's on here. You know, Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, Children of the Corn, Final Destination. I don't know if it's that. Insidious, Leprechaun. I mean, it was pretty mainstream. Return of the Living Dead is up here. Wrong Turn.
What 3?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying what's up there. So my 3 I picked were Return of the Living Dead. That's a no-brainer. I think the both of us agree with that one. That's just a great
that was
movie,
my first one,
and
I
it's
think.
super fun. Yeah, that's the first one I listed. Then I listed Tremors, and then I listed Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, if anyone knows us, we know we're a huge fan of Friday the 13th, but I'm not a huge fan of the first movie.
Are you reading my comment?
No.
Are you reading my comment?
No. But I'm just saying,
I picked The Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I picked Texas Chainsaw Massacre only because it is one of my favorite movies of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I picked Nightmare on Elm Street. And then I explained, even though I like the Friday the 13th series more, if we're comparing the first movies, Nightmare is better.
Yeah, but that's...
So you literally said what I...
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I would say that no matter what. I mean, I see that now that you wrote that there, but anyone that knows us, we so high on Jason. That's like our favorite slasher, both of us. You know what I mean? But when it comes to picking...
But he didn't make the cut.
Yeah, well, because they only put Friday the 13th Part 1. If you had Friday the 13th Part 6 on there, I would have threw that on there instead of Nightmare on Elm Street 1, personally. I would rather watch Part 6 than that.
Oh my God, yeah.
But
there's actually probably
so
3 Friday the 13th movies. There's probably like 3 Friday the 13th movies I'd actually rather watch than the first Nightmare. Like Part 4, Part 6, and probably Jason X, maybe. I like it.
Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, but anyway. But my point is, so I picked Tremors because it's an extremely fun movie and entertaining. I think you can watch that all the time. It's got, it's got good action, good acting, good effects. Same thing with Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead is just fun. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah. I'll actually
zombies.
Say the same reason I wouldn't pick Tremors is the same reason I wouldn't pick Friday the 13th. Kevin fucking Bacon.
Oh, Kevin Bacon. Well,
yeah.
But
no, Tremors is fun. It is.
He isn't really a thing in Friday the 13th, though. I mean, he's there. He gets killed. But...
He's in the. That's. I was just joking.
Yeah,
like
I know,
the fact that he's in both.
And then Nightmare on Elm Street it's just an all around great movie. I can watch that all the time.
Yeah, I feel torn because Evil Dead's up here, but I'm gonna tell you something.
But that one's not as fun as the second one, though. It's good.
Right. Well, I saw this font, and I said, "Are they talking about the remake? Or are they? They got to be talking about the original."
Yeah, but that's the remake font, though, isn't it?
I think it is. And I was like, "There's no fucking way I want to get stuck watching the remake for the rest of the time."
I don't think I've ever really seen that font, so that's got to be the remake font. That's where they had to get that from.
And that's what I figured. Like, if it was the original, I would know because that's a very iconic Evil Dead. Yeah. So, wow, 2 of our 3 movies were the same.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of classic movies on here. Not to get sidetracked, I think we should talk about this tomorrow more. We should go over this again for a live stream.
We definitely will bring that up. But the whole thing that brought us into this is what actually makes a bad movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like very strongly that even like a bad acted movie could be fun or, at least practical effects, whatever. I think what makes a bad movie is a boring movie.
Correct.
And
it could be shitty acted, it could have crappy special effects, but as long as it's entertaining, it can still be good. That's why we gave a fun factor for our last review on Only the Strong. I gave it a 7 because it was fun watching with other people, even though it's really like a 5 of a normal movie. And you were like, I think, a 4.5. I think.
Yeah, as an actual film.
Yeah,
by
you were
itself.
like 4.5.
But like watching it with you.
Yeah, you said it was like a 4.5. I said it was like a 5. But like watching it with people and making fun of it and having fun with it, it was like a 7 for me. There's a funness factor you add to these movies.
And I feel like Cannibal Women of the Avocado Jungle was another one of those where where it's like on its own by yourself. A lot of dialogue and a lot. It's like
now a first viewing of that is entertaining by yourself because you can really pay attention to it and like get some of the jokes because you're paying attention to now. But to certain people, I can understand how that's boring though. But I actually enjoyed watching it by myself. But I didn't get as many of the jokes because I was younger though.
You brought up a good point when rewatching it, and you said, I like this movie now for different reasons than what I remembered liking it for.
It's actually a lot, like I said, it was a lot smarter of a movie than you give it. It's actually very cleverly written. There's a lot of...
And Bill Maher, actually surprisingly a funny guy. Not just like him
he was
like
that in a lot of movies. It's funny. Like in a few movies he did back in the day. He was like a totally different person he is now. People change, that's how it is.
But then why is it that many what we would consider boring movies end up being the Oscar bait type of movies. Like, you know, the boring movies like Terrence Malick and shit. I hate shitting on him so much, but
like movies
you
like
know,
The
there's,
Piano.
like,
You know what I mean? Like just these.
or anything fucking like fucking what's his name? Gus Van Sant or fucking
Basically,
what-
almost anything Daniel Day-Lewis is in. Almost.
except There Will Be Blood.
Well, see, here's the
There
thing.
Will Be Blood.
It took me about 3 watches to finally get through that movie in a span of about 10 years before I actually sat down and watched it in full. It was like the 3rd or 4th try, and like I did like the movie, but also every time I tried to watch it, I was very tired and sleepy. It's not a movie you want to watch when you're tired and sleepy and you really get into it. But I still say his best movie is Gangs of New York by far.
Oh yeah, Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
But that's like that's an all-star cast. It's not just Daniel Day-Lewis.
I know.
You know, but
I mean, there
but
were some
his
people. There
movies
were some people in There Will Be Blood, but not an all-star cast.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna have DiCaprio, Cameron Diaz.
But he was kind of like a no one at the
time.
time-ish. He was an upcomer still in that
DiCaprio?
movie. Yeah, he was an upcomer.
No,
he wasn't like a
already
blockbuster
did-
star
he did
like he is now.
Yeah, no, but he already did Titanic. He already did,
Yeah, but that made him like a
Aviator, I
really
believe.
upcoming star still. It wasn't like the movie that
It made him a more serious
Yeah.
star.
Yeah,
Like,
no, but I'm
yeah,
talking
not
like
a teen heartthrob.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like he's that didn't make him the blockbuster draw he is now.
No.
Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? He's almost the new Jack Nicholson, and you know what I mean? Like
I actually think between Gangs of New York and The Departed did a lot for Leo.
Yeah,
to
but yeah,
put him in
definitely.
that upper echelon.
yeah,
Fucking Departed's great, man. I love it. I'm sorry.
no, it's a great movie. No,
but-
what I'm
but,
saying is
yeah,
like
what I
when he
was
was
getting-
cast for it, he wasn't that knockdown,
Yeah, he had
drag-out
some Hollywood
star.
movies.
Yeah, no, he was an upcoming, gonna be a huge star, and that movie propelled him later on. But I'm saying when he was originally
Oh, yeah.
cast, and when you originally watched
they-
it wasn't like
they-
that's all.
They picked basically what he was is like at that point he was the heartthrob. He
Yeah.
was the face. But he like acting chops wise, like nobody's going
think-
to
I
Gilbert
think-
Grape and be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, look at this guy play a
Yeah,
fucking."
I think
no.
he was still on like Teen Beat magazine at that time.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
You know what I mean? He wasn't exactly on E Hollywood or whatever fucking hottest men of cinema
Yeah.
or whatever.
So like I don't, anyone who's a fan, I don't want to offend you, but you know, like the real fucking pretentious people who are like, oh, like Wes Anderson, he's such a great fucking
We talk about these
I know.
people all the
I-
time. Yeah.
Wes Anderson. Oh, the Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou is one of the greatest fucking.
Movie
You don't
blows.
get
I'm sorry.
the humor,
That movie blows.
dude. Wes Anderson. Okay, I'll give him the credit that behind the camera, the stuff that he shoots is beautiful, but that is not gonna carry an entire 2 to 3 hour long movie of being entertaining. Cinematography alone will not do it.
Some
And
people
I
it
just happen
does.
to think, I know,
Those pretentious
and, like the
D-bags.
dialogue, the snobs,
cinema snobs.
but not the
No,
cinema
no,
snob.
I said
He's
cinema
awesome.
snobs.
But yeah, and you know what? I want to tell you something. If anyone doesn't know who Brad Jones is, the cinema snob, his name is the cinema snob. That's the character that he plays. But he always reviews like exploitation and horror and stuff like that. And
All right,
he-
let's not
it gives
go
him a chance
telling
to rag
people to
on
watch other people's channels are too much. Okay.
it. No.
Watch us. Watch
Brad's
us. Watch
cool.
us.
Obviously, watch us first, but go to Brad second. But yeah, he's actually one of the guys who got me into some of that 70s and 80s like exploitation stuff, like blood-sucking freaks I never knew about until but yeah, he plays that pompous, pretentious, the critic who writes for the newspaper. Oh, I just watched The Expendables, and it was just 2 hours of raging hard-on shooting guns. It's like, I want to see raging hard-on shooting guns, though. Like, that's
No,
what,
I literally want
How
to
you
see
gonna-
raging hard on shooting guns.
Actual fucking dicks with, like, M16s.
I want to see dicks with little
fucking
muscle
go.
arms, big veiny throbbing cocks with muscle arms shooting guns.
Oh, please, nobody edit this out of context. Hey, Wolfman, what do you like doing on a Saturday? I want to see throbbing cocks with veins.
Shooting guns.
Yeah, don't cut out the shooting
No,
guns.
don't cut out the shooting guns.
Do we get any of that in this movie? Like, is there like
No.
in Mutant Hunt?
No. I'm just no.
I'm disappointed.
Come in with no expectations whatsoever. Maybe we'll laugh at some things. There's a couple noteworthy coolness things in it, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want to get too much into how shitty the movie is, and we'll pause it. We'll talk about how shitty it is then. So yeah.
So all right. So what do we know production wise of this movie? Is there any kind of record?
So yeah. Let me scroll down here, and so it's low. Oh, it's obviously a low budget film. It's made by a company or produced by Wizard Video, which would turn into Full Moon Pictures, which is run by Charles Band.
Oh, no way.
So
Yeah,
Charles
yeah,
Band is a fucking producer on here, along with that lady that you were talking about earlier. When I forget what that conversation.
Cynthia De
I
Palma.
forgot what what we were talking about her, but Charles Band is another name on there, and that would become this movie.
Full Moon.
But there was so.
Okay.
I thought I saw some money on here, but apparently not. I might have just made that up, and maybe I was reading something else because when I was watching this movie, I actually missed the end of the movie because I started looking on my phone at something, and then another movie started playing, and I didn't realize the movie had ended and started playing. So that's
it's only 73 minutes long.
Yeah, so that just shows you. Maybe there's something at the end that's cool. I'm actually going to be technically watching the end of this movie for the first time because I got sidetracked,
okay,
and I started looking up. I started looking up the second movie, and that's might have where I got my numbers at because I was contemplating doing this other movie instead of this one, and that's when I called you.
So in our experiences, this is episode 19. We've done this 18 times previous.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the budget is, like by a ballpark? Like $400 in a ham sandwich? Is it that bad?
Realistic, maybe like $500,000.
But there's been some bangers out there that have been made with less money.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe. Maybe it's less. I don't know. They might have did a lot of guerrilla shooting. That's why the middle of this movie there's not much going on. So maybe I'll drop it to, somewhere between 100 and 200,000 maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because the transfer of this movie is also really bad. Like from 35 millimeter to VHS and then the VHS to DVD or whatever. It's like very shaky and it's like really shitty at first. It does clear up a little bit, like later on, but at first it's
whoever was originally digitizing this wasn't holding the tracking button on the VHS.
So there's a lot of negatives to this movie before it starts. Like when you look at it, it got a board transfer over to VHS or DVD from the 35 millimeter film. The budget obviously is not that high. They did have a couple cool practical effects here and there that were really good. The sets weren't that great. There was no real crazy, and it didn't look like they spent much money on the sets at all.
Well, like you said,
the
it was
cinematography wasn't that good. Like Maniac was shot better. I don't remember what the budget on Maniac was, but Maniac looks like 10 times better, but that was still guerrilla shot too, though. So, but
Maniac, I believe, was around the 250,000.
Yeah, I don't remember
mark
offhand.
Or Henry actually might have been that, but still, both of them low budget, and they're probably much better than this.
Yeah, so I don't know if I think this might have went straight to video. Usually, most Charles Band type stuff goes, but so it's Wizard Video. So when you look up Wizard Video, they were a motion picture distribution company that created B movies by veteran Charles Band. So this is from the wiki. They would later go on to found Full Moon Features, they're huge. They're just a mega company. They got Puppet Master series, other Puppet Masters like their bread and butter. That Evil Bong series is another big one. He likes his dolls and monsters of sorts mostly. I think they have the Transfer series. I think that's Full Moon also. So, but
They also released the movie this year called Corona Zombies.
yeah,
Um,
but Wizard Video did put out some movies that they're best known for their VHS releases of Zombie 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I Spit on Your Grave. Like they
oh, no
did
way.
the
Okay.
they did the releases of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were also well known for their detailed and often lurid box art.
So I can kind of see where
hence-
Full Moon
yeah.
actually got their set for their box art then.
Yeah, especially after their switch to the big box format. So popular was the label that Charles Mann had begun reissuing titles, starting with the 1989's Intruder under the old Wizard Video banner. Wizard Video is also known for creating 2 Atari 2600 games, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween games under Wizard Video Games.
Okay, both. Wait.
Your mind was just blown.
Both of those video games are extremely expensive. Yeah, though they're
Yeah.
terrible. But, dude, the Halloween Atari video game is literally a black cartridge with a piece of masking tape on it and an orange marker written Halloween. What the
Yeah, so
that's
so however
insane.
these games were aimed at adult markets, so because of the violent content, these games were either banned from stores or hidden behind the counter and only taken out by request. So you wouldn't even know they were there unless you knew of them. You know, and this caused games to
that's
become
true.
rare and sales were small, causing the company to stop making video games. The company also distributed films under the Force Video logo. On February 7th, 2013, Charles Band claimed to had rediscovered copies of 36 Wizard Video title boxes, as well as Wizard Video game boxes, in one of his storage warehouse. So 32 of the 36 films were re-released as limited editions on 4 titles per month basis, starting on February 12th of like around 2014-ish. So with the inner clamshell
Nice, okay.
cases and tapes being new, but the old box covers and stuff being, so the entire supply of the remaining 4 films were discovered to be water damaged, unfortunately, and would not be released. The 2 games will be released at a later date. Doesn't say what they were. I was going to do more digging, but then we started talking. When I kind of dropped the ball on that one. Unfortunately, people, I'm sorry. But in
It's all good.
2014, the Wizard Video brand was relaunched as Wizard Studios to spotlight rising independent filmmakers and their cutting-edge genre pictures. So the first waves of films were Virginia Oscura, Vampire, Vanelli, premiering on the band's Full Moon features subscription-based streaming service. So they also have a streaming service just like Troma does.
Yep.
You can get all their movies.
I wonder how much theirs is.
A couple $1 a month. So just an example of some of the Wizard Video stuff that came out were like some of the bigger movies were Breeders, A Virgin Among the Living Dead, I Spit on Your Grave. We talked about that. Dixie Dynamite. Sorry. Dreamatic, The Driller Killer from 1979. There's a couple Emmanuel movies, Emmanuel Black and White and Emmanuel Around the World. If you're familiar with Emmanuel, they were super Skinamax films with very sexy international ladies. That's all I'm going to say. I remember them quite fondly when I was a young kid. It was some of my first experiences of naked boobies on TV.
The Emmanuel series?
Mm-hmm. It's one of. There was some other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it was
it's kind of funny. Yeah. I remember it was one movie. It was called Do or Die. Was another one was this cheesy action movie, like with lots of boobs in it. And then I think there was like Ski School was another good one. And then I think Hot Dog was another movie that had to do with skiing or something. A lot of those skiing movies back in the 80s and early 90s. Skiing.
Oh
was,
yeah, the snow
popular.
Bunnies and the
Yeah. There was a couple other notables in here. I mean, there's a good we talked about this Manhunt, Parasite, Penitentiary. It's exploitation film. Pink Flamingos. They released that in 1972. Yeah, Robot Holocaust.
So John
Tattoo
Water.
Hitman. Yeah.
Oh.
Terminal Island.
So wait.
What?
You said Robot Holocaust?
Yeah, I talked about it earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's
it's
like
funny
Robot
because
Holocaust was by the same director. And it was like his best / worst film that he's made.
Okay. Yeah, because Full Moon had it's either Robot Wars or Robot Jocks. Two movies that came out around the same time, and it's basically about like battling robots. And I know that was a Full Moon thing.
Well, the Robot Wars was the TV show.
They also had that TV show, but there was
I'm saying there could have been a movie
before.
Yeah, they had Mandinga, Miss New in America. I mean, they did a lot of Parasite.
Yeah.
They did a lot of exploitation, horror, Carnival of Blood, 1970. It's another wannabe gore-like film that wasn't very gory. You know how some of those 70s films were sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's Wizard Video.
They've been doing
in a
it for a long time.
Yeah,
they have the experience.
Yeah. As of actor-wise, no one notable. I mean, the main character, his biggest role was Sergeant Kabuki Man. Not as Sergeant Kabuki Man, but Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD. For Trauma, his name is Rick Ganassi. He played a detective that was teamed with Sergeant Kabuki Man. But other than that, I mean, I tried to go through here and find, like, someone. I didn't go through every single name in here, but I really couldn't get anyone that really remotely did anything good.
So a lot of the actors in this movie were also in other movies from this guy. He obviously used the same people.
Yeah, he used a lot of the same people.
And a lot of the actresses have been in your basic Skinamax stuff. Mm-hmm. I just went through earlier just to see. But there is one. The actress's name is Adrienne Lee. And she was actually in Necropolis.
Yeah.
Which, a little bit more well-known now. I guess kind of has a little bit of a cult following.
Well, she's one of only two people that actually has a picture in IMDb besides the director. Yeah, I looked at her and she didn't really have much on there. I forgot that was there. But, I mean, to the average person, that's going to mean nothing. That's more of the hardcore
collector. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, basically, Sergeant Kabuki Man and Necropolis are, like, the only two things that people may know. That's how fucking obscure this movie is.
And even Sergeant Kabuki Man, most people aren't going to know what that is. It's just one of Troma's better movies, and that was made.
I mean, dude, there's still tons of people who only know Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rightfully so. It's their best fucking movie by far. Anyway.
Yeah.
At least that I've seen so far.
Oh.
So, but the biggest surprise, which I told you, was the director. What were you going to say, though? What were you going to say before?
So, I do want to mention one thing, because I do like to see the composers. A guy who worked on this movie, his name is Don Great. And I hadn't heard the name before, but I've seen some of the stuff that he's done.
Actually, you know what? The soundtrack in this is actually probably the coolest thing about this movie. Now that we talk about it and I bring it up, the soundtrack's like the coolest thing in this movie. But it's like, it's what you would expect a soundtrack to be, though.
Sure, yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
No, it's total Casio keyboard synthesizer, like.
Yeah. Well, this guy has done work on 2003's X-Men X2 United, the 2003 Hulk movie, Cruel Intentions, The Game. He actually has done a good amount of composing for TV shows and movies. It seems like one of the more. I
didn't even think to look him up. You're more the music guy. I didn't even think to see what he did. Even though I enjoyed the soundtrack the most, probably. I mean, the beginning was cool too, but the music helped.
Now, and again, he worked on Breeders and Necropolis and Necropolis. You know, like he did work with this guy, obviously, but at least he stuck with it and eventually made it to some like actual big budget Hollywood stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Good. So our director Tim Kincaid, unless you want to go over something else right now.
No. I'm ready for this guy.
He also goes by the name of Joe Gage, which is his basically gay porn name. So I was very shocked to find out, not necessarily by some of the other stuff he directed in the early 80s and whatnot were kind of like exploitation films, but they were like women exploitation films, were like whatever.
Yeah.
But to find out that he mostly like 90% directed gay porn or bisexual porn, because apparently when you read more in about him on Wikipedia, a lot of his porn was supposed to be like the average everyday guy, and they weren't necessarily gay, but they were banging just to like bang, not necessarily because like they lusted after men. Like they were just like it's weird, but
basically a hole's a hole.
Sort
that's
of.
what we're,
You know, so and when you go through, Joe Gage he starred in 7 of his own movies, and
oh boy,
a big series for him was a Joe Gage Sex Files. There's 23 volumes of it. 24 volumes. So
oh my God.
And then
but can we say something?
And he's got just like there's Ernest series, like Ernest Safe whatever. He has a dad series. Dad Out West, Dad Goes to College, Dad Gets into Trouble.
Of course. But before all of the main porn stuff,
Jock Park.
I'm looking at this list from.
I'm trying to make you laugh by saying
73
names while you're talking, but yeah.
From 73 to 89.
Slow heat in a Texas town.
That's not even. I mean that sounds like a Chuck Norris movie. Honestly, he might be in it. Actually, we should check that out.
Campus Pizza.
But it looks like in the 70s and 80s, most of his movies were mixed between these super cheesy, low budget actual movies and porn. But then
The Road to
he
Redneck
must have
Hollow.
realized it ain't gonna be hollow much longer. Oh,
Crossing the Line, Cop Shack 2.
Nah, that's not too good. Home Invasion. I wonder if they use the back door.
Lifeguard, The Men of the Deepwater Beach. That's probably the funniest one so far, actually. I'm like a little kid reading these right now. It just kind of makes me funny. Oh my God, this is so bad.
I'm not. I just.
All right, hold on. This one's actually good. Gale Force, Men's Room 2. You get the joke? It's Gale as in Gale, like the wind blowing gale.
Yeah, like an actual. Yeah.
Blowing Force, Men's Room 2. That's what it's basically saying.
Go down to 1986.
Truck stop on I-95.
Hey, that's right around where we're at. Well, he is out of New York, isn't he?
Yeah. I-95 runs through basically the whole East Coast.
Ooh! Dude, Joe Gage Sex Files Volume 1. Jackass Party at Billy Bob's.
Yep.
No, there's one here called Orange
me how to do it.
There's one here called Orange Hanky Left. That actually sounds like a trucker tag.
Blue Collar Beer
gay.
Blast.
Okay, never.
Blue Collar Beer Blast.
See, that one, that's fucked up. Because you might actually get some, like, guys who are, like, into, like, beer movies. And they're like, oh, I wonder what this is about. Oh, my God!
Men's Room 3, Ozark Mountain, Exit 8. I seem like a lot of these are out of his own, like, personal past. Like, maybe...
It sounds like all of his sexual encounters he's ever had, he just videotaped and sold. Like, that's basically... But
Doctors
look,
and Dads too, Off-Duty Cops.
Hold on. From 89, from his last movie, She's Back, to 2001, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then from 2001 on, it looks like he just stuck with porn.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, in the 80s, he dabbled with some movies. I think he might have done 1 or 2 actual normal movies. Like, well, not normal, but exploitation, not actual porn in, like, the late 70s.
Yeah, not porn.
But it was mostly the 80s where he did any movies and then went right back to porn. I guess he just got bored with making regular movies. Just total shock.
It looks like he didn't make anything for 12 years, though. 89 to 2001, so he probably took a break or whatever. Mm-hmm. In the Name of Leather.
Yeah.
I think that's that Rob Halford biopic.
But apparently in 2001,
boy.
he was put in the Gay VN Awards Hall of Fame. And then in 2001 and then 2011, he's on the Exhibit Awards Gay Director of the Year. So he must have had some sort of talent.
Oh,
I mean, when you do
yeah,
go over
yeah.
this, he was apparently a huge influence on the adult film industry and just gay men in general. Getting over stereotypes and just making these films a different way than most people perceive them. You know, so
Well, he did
he was
have a cinematic background.
he was a
You
he was
know,
a trendsetter. You know, apparently he was a good dude and very positive for the gay
yeah.
movement. I guess I don't know what to call it. Sorry if I
Well,
offended
the
anyone
adult
on that.
film
I'm
and
just
no. If you think about the adult film industry, um, especially when it came to like gay porn, was actually pretty much stuck the way it was up until probably like the early 2000s, and probably
yeah.
because of this guy doing his cinematic type of movies.
Well, it was
Because
also
back
super
then you had
taboo, more than so than regular porn, which is even worse. And most of the guys weren't even
finding the
gay.
people to
They were
right
forced to do
finding
the
the
gay
people to
movies
do it
in order to do the regular movies. That's actually a
because
legit
the
real
money.
thing, yeah.
But even today, there are gay porn actors who are not gay, but the money in
Yeah,
gay
then they
porn
make something like
pays.
5 to 10 times more than they would make in a regular straight porn. They don't give a shit.
They'll get paid $600 for a day of shooting on a regular porn. They'll get
Yeah.
$5,000 for a regular day of
They
shooting
just pop a
for a gay
Viagra
porn.
and go to town, basically.
Yep.
No, they didn't have
No,
that
that's
then.
serious. That's what
Yeah.
they. But then back then you had like these exploitation gay porn movies like Gay Racula and
Yeah.
Succula are the two that always come to mind because they tried doing a story. They tried doing this and that, and they thought that's what gay porn was going to be. But the most watched porn is not this cinematic story driven stuff. People just want to see fucking. Usually they watch a porn for 10 minutes and then you know what I mean? This guy caught on to that. He's like, dude, nobody wants to see all this story shit. They want fucking ass
You get
pounding. Boom.
you get 5 to 10 minutes of maybe a little bit of story, a little funniness, and then right to probably whatever.
Little
I guess
setup.
I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
technically seen his movies, but from what I read, that's what it sounds like.
And that for him to
Yeah.
be like lifetime achievement award in the industry and shit like that, I mean, he's probably one of the like you said, one of the trendsetters. And
Yeah.
that's cool, you know.
Well, like I said, also it was
but
like a lot of those guys that did straight porn. It was almost like they got punished, or you had to haze them in, and then in order to get the regular porn, they made you do the gay porn first. You had to like earn your. It was like very hard to get
Unless
into the
you were,
porn
like-
industry then. It's not like it is now. Anyone can make a fucking porno
unless you
these
were
days.
like unless you were like John Holmes or Ron Jeremy,
Yeah, but even those guys did.
you know. But the reason they didn't have to do it as bad is because they got in the beginning. Like a lot
Yeah,
of
but
people think,
I'm pretty sure
you
both
know,
of them did gay porn though. Like regardless,
I'm
pretty sure.
I've never seen that, but like I know for a fact that like they did porn so long ago, like like in the early and mid 70s, especially like
Yeah.
John Holm. He was doing porn in his 50s, and it's like because they were the industry standard. And it's funny because a lot of guys in the porn industry are looked at as disposable because it's like, oh, well, all you are is a unit. You're a tool. Most people want to watch this and that. You know what I mean? So really, like you said, it's hard to break into like a mainstream straight porn, and like they kind of make you go through the motions, to get to that point in your career. I just can't believe that this guy has so many, like, obviously porn directors, they can knock out a new movie every month if they wanted to. But this guy, like you said, he's got like 24 volumes of a certain series, and like you said, the Dad series, like he's stuck with it.
Yeah, like a lot of his work, a lot of his stuff was blue collared men that were just kind of exploring, not necessarily the typical like what they. I guess they were trying to push.
Like flamboyant. Yeah.
So your everyday guy. I mean, I knew a few gay people that are like that. You never would have known.
Yeah.
They're not
Yep.
not all gay people are super flamboyant
No,
and
matter of
out
fact,
there like you'd expect them to be. They're just everyday
um,
normal people. There's nothing wrong with them.
well, and
Nothing
but
wrong with it either
that's from,
way.
like,
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean. Like, it's not what people think.
No. But the thing is, what fucked it up, and I'll be honest, because I have gay friends, and like you said, you wouldn't know that they're gay unless they outright told you. But the thing is, it was so taboo for a long time, and then when people started talking about it, in like say the early and mid '90s with TV shows, they made the characters be either super flamboyant or super butch if it was a lesbian, or they would just make them dumb as shit. Like the gay best friend, or like, they always not dumb, but like
They were
like,
that
they're always,
quirky,
like, jovial.
the quirky kind
Yeah,
of
quirky.
funny, goofy type of person. They weren't dumb, but they were just they made them different than the regular character on the show.
Right. And they wanted people to think, look, this guy's gay, he's different, but he has to act this way. So, and it's not like
He has to act a
It's
certain
like
way
they're
or be a
literally
certain stereotype so you knew he was gay, basically. It was just weird like that.
Yep. And I don't think it's like that anymore. I haven't watched any new TV recently. I'm
really.
sure there's tons of gay characters on TV who act normal, like the regular gay people do. But, then again, you still have people like, like John Waters, who is like openly, flamboyantly gay and stuff. You could obviously tell. So they exist on both realms. I guess what we're trying to say is, I mean, obviously we are not beacons of hope for the LGBT community. Like, you look at us two, like two bearded white guys who love horror. Like, we're like the worst people to probably talk to about this situation.
I'm sure there's plenty of people like
least,
us that are gay, but we just not the right to talk about this. I'm sure we just offended like a million people out there inadvertently.
But honestly, giving our opinion, we might be naive to the subject. We might not know a whole lot about it, but I mean, it doesn't mean we're not allowed to talk about it. See, I hate that. I hate that argument people say, oh well, if you don't know how to do this, you can't do this, and your opinion doesn't matter. It's like, I could read a fucking book. Like it's not, fuck. That's a whole nother topic, man. Seriously, that pisses me off beyond belief. Well, hey, good for Tim Kincaid. Oh, he was also born as Tim Gambiani out of Santa Barbara, California.
I didn't see
Wolfman
he
fell
was
asleep.
like born
No.
or whatever. No, I'm not asleep. I was reading something on my phone.
I know, but on camera it looks like your eyes are closed because you're looking down.
I thought you heard my phone going off. That's why I was waiting for the comment.
No.
My Pac-Man yelling. Holy shit!
No, actually, I didn't hear it. So
ended up just being emails, unfortunately. No, I mean, that's all I really got about this one. There wasn't really anything to go off of, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
you want to just call that a part one and
yeah, we're gonna this episode may be released as one full episode. We're at the 1 hour 18
we got an hour and
mark,
18. I might just release this as one episode. I would say release as an episode.
But we do take our midway break in between. Got to do what we got to do. So hey, if you're listening, this is where I'm gonna put Gore's Kill of the Week, or her Pick of the Week. Sorry, Kill of the Week is going on as a Facebook exclusive. Obviously, you know where to find us. All of our audio streaming fans out there can obviously thank you again. Stick around. You do not want to miss this live
like
reaction.
I said, well, we're going to plug it a million times, but if you enjoy our content, go to the Patreon, sign up, help us out. And if you don't want to be a monthly donator, you can always just donate every once in a while if you want. Or once, whatever your little heart desires. You can.
It always goes back to the channel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously go to the Facebook and get all caught up on all the events. That's when you'll know about our live streams when we go live every other week. Like we're doing. Obviously, it's not going to be tomorrow when you hear this, but we're doing a live stream on the 7th of July, which is tomorrow. because it's the 6th right now as we're
Yep.
recording. And then,
So
the
then-
next one will be 2 weeks from that. So the next
I'm
one
actually
will
looking at
be
the
the
calendar now.
21st.
Yep,
We'll be in-
July 21st will be our next live stream. And if you tune in for that, it's every other
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So we're trying to get a horror game stream down once a week. It'll probably be like Dead by Daylight. We're trying to sink a day in for that, at least an hour or two on a night.
Just got a whole bunch of the new killers.
Yeah, spent some money to get some of the new killers on there. So, but obviously, if we get anyone to play with us, we'll play as survivors, try to get through. But if it's just me,
Yeah.
maybe Gray will be here talking with me as we go hunt some people as some awesome killer. We got Pyramid Head, Ghostface.
Yep.
The Stranger Things, like, fucking, I forget the name of it off the top of my head right now. The creature.
I've never got into it.
Yeah, the
yet.
monster. Oh, it's actually really good.
Yeah. Is it?
We have,
All right.
we have Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Michael Myers. We have all the basic.
All the mainstays we have.
Yeah, all the mainstays. There's some others. I have Ash as a playable survivor character.
Yeah.
There's some other
But then
killers
there's also
that are very
basic
similar.
there's
Yeah.
like witches and stuff,
Yeah.
like your stereotypical witch or zombie or whatever.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
There's
It's actually a really cool
hillbilly
game.
guy. It's very similar. But anyway, we're trying to do that.
Yep.
I got stuff on my Twitch channel. I'm trying to resurrect the Twitch channel. Looks like possibly it's going to be maybe Wednesdays. I'll be doing a stream with my buddy Vintage DC over on Twitch. We did some Dying Light the other day, and then we were like, oh, we should do this like once a week at least. Like try to make a day out of it because we had a lot of fun. That we were killing zombies and doing parkour, and they had an event where your bare fists do extra damage, and I was drop kicking zombies and sending them like across the map. It was fucking awesome. So much fun.
So they actually turn off like
Yeah,
the physics.
yeah.
And they allow
So
you
I'm
to
like
fucking...
I'm just like running and jumping off buildings and drop kicking zombies and whatever, and they're like flying over ledges. Like it was a fun time.
You gotta let everyone know.
Yeah,
what your
I was
Twitch
getting to
is.
that. I'm just saying we were doing good things. The Twitch handle is Wolfman Got Nards. That is my full name, even
Very
though I go
easy
by
to
Wolfman.
remember.
But the O and Got is a 0, so it is a little different. And Nards is spelled with a Z at the end. Obviously, if you go to our Facebooks and all that stuff, you will see that. There'll be links and all that fun stuff. I think even on our YouTube page on the GrindHaus, there's a Twitch link. I think up at the top of the page. So you can click on that; it'll send you right over to it.
I'll go to that personal. Yeah, the
send you right over the
silver bullet.
That's about. Anything else, real quick?
If you check out our Facebook, I recently released the trailer for the next episode of Grindhouse Gripes, and like I said earlier, I'm doing the Blair Witch 2, the season of the fucking Book of Shadows, and it's not actually gonna be released probably till like the first week of August. I'm trying to get caught a few episodes before releasing them. So if there's any ever a time where I have to take a week off, I still have something to release to everybody.
Also, a big thing, if you don't like our Facebook, we do have a Discord, if you know what that is. It's a chat community where we have different forums set up for different things, and we will post all the links to at least the YouTube, because there are videos that you don't get through the Spotify. Obviously, we have our Serial Killers Academy through the Patreon, but we have other videos like the Grindhouse Gripes, our featured person of the week, and then possibly some other stuff we're working on. They're only going through YouTube at the current moment. Depending on what Spotify does, it might go through there. We don't know.
If Spotify picks up their video content, we will obviously definitely be going there as well.
We have our Discord with different type of chat areas, different topics, different things, and we get all the links in there. If you want to join our Discord, go to our Facebook, throw us a message, or leave a message in the YouTube somewhere if you don't like Facebook.
Or
what?
Now you can go to Grindhouse on 42nd Street at gmail.com.
Oh yeah, you got the email up now. Yeah,
we slept on it the whole time.
Well, it was because it was named something else originally, so we had a different email, and we switched it.
We weren't giving people our email address because it was a different name and it wasn't Grindhouse, but now we just opened up another one. So if you don't use Facebook and you don't use anything, and you're still hearing us or watching whatever, drop us an email, grindhouse on 42nd Street at gmail.com, and we'll send you invites. We'll guide you to the
And
right
Discord's
place.
cool because it's on your phone or your PC or your tablets or whatever. So if you're one of those people that doesn't really like to mess with their computer, or you got a tablet or your phone, you can get a hold of all our content through that.
Yep.
Also, so Discord's really cool. I want to make that
It is.
a little more open. Like a lot of the stuff that
great.
we put on our Facebook's going to end up in the Discord. You know, we have a spot for memes, doggo pics. I mean, all the, you know, critters, cats, snakes, whatever you fucking have. You know, we have different serial killer chat, movie chat, you know, all the...
If you've been banned one too many times from Facebook and you're fucking fed up with Mark Zuckerberg, Discord is still the Wild West, so come on over.
I'm the ruler of the Discord, so as long as you don't piss me off, you're good. Just don't be an asshat. Don't be an ass clown. Don't be a fucking complete piece of shit, and we won't kick you out of the Discord.
But you don't have to worry about... Yeah, you don't have to worry about, like, being offensive or sharing a meme and then getting banned. Like, it's not like that. You know what I mean?
As long as you're not dropping M-bombs in your memes, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Don't be offensive, you know what I mean?
No, but even if you do, you got to go to our Phil Anselmo Pantera sublink. And no, we don't have that. Fuck. Well,
disappointed in you.
I think that's it. Hey, you know what? If you kept up with Phil's news lately, you would understand why I said that.
I know why you said it, and he didn't say any M-bombs.
We might have to take this off. Not take it off the recording, but I'll have to talk about this. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, check out part 2. But for right now, you got Gore's pick of the week, obviously. My name is Gray.
I'm Wolfman. And have a great night or day, and GrindHaus out. Yeah? Good? Yeah.